And so what then, just before I ask my question, I just wanted to say that I would like us to speak to facts and not speculations, because you had said earlier that the presidential candidate of the Labour Party paid some people, whether in promises or money on social media. I just wanted to clear that. But I also want to ask you, because this whole certificate forgery controversy started especially with your presidential candidate, and you also mentioned that you had advised them against it. The media frenzy we saw around it, and then supported by the Labour Party as well. What's your thought on that media frenzy? Because they had hinged all of their strategy, as it were, on that certificate. And the Supreme Court, gave a contrary verdict. What's your thought on that media frenzy and the social media frenzy as well?
Like I said earlier, the media is a business. It's a business. It is not a charity. It's a business. And so when you have a business, you've got to drum up patronage for your business. So if you have a case going well, if you have the Supreme Court and the Presidential Election Petition Court doing their jobs very well, that's not going to drive media traffic. So what you want is that you want drama. You want to rile up the public. You want to instigate the public. You want to poison their minds. It's just, for example, I'll give you another recent example. Recently, a young man called Ilewi Oluwa, also known as Mobad, died. Now, you see that there was a media frenzy. Naira Marley killed him. Naira Marley is guilty. And that media frenzy was selling, people, it was generating traffic for online sites, it was generating traffic for social media influencers, it was selling newspapers. And so people allowed that. But 2 weeks ago, the police gave a statement and they said, well, this is how he died. And these are the people that were responsible. You had an auxiliary nurse who was not registered, who was a quack nurse. And then you had somebody who was directly responsible for the fight. But then you see the media whipped up, will I say, something that the public could buy. And that's the same thing with this case. The media, in a bid to generate patronage, they whipped up a lot of frenzy over this certificate. There are people within the media who have the expertise to study the Supreme Court Act, to study the Electoral Act of 2022. And they did not do that because it was not in their interest to do that. And so that's the reason why you had this media frenzy. Now, if you had followed the law, if you had maybe taken some time, and when I say you, I'm not talking about TVC, I'm talking about the media in general, a lot of all of this would not have happened. And a lot of people who have now been riled up would not have been just riled up. Now, I want to say this again, I'm going back. The people who are most disappointed in are probably maybe some lawyers who knew the law, but probably because of pecuniary interest, maybe, this is a case they're going to get paid, did not advise their clients well. That's what I would say on that.